Lamont, Eli, pretty good debut, 23 points, 5 three-pointers. Just how did you've spoken often of his fearlessness, but how did you see him really step in there against a probable top 25 team and just kind of keep that going?
Yeah, he's a competitive kid. I mean, we got a lot of them, but amongst the most elite competitors, I think he stands out as a real competitor. I don't say that just to be saying that. I mean, like, whoever's really out there competing in any walk of life, I'm not sure they compete like he does. So that's where it starts for him. And then this has been his whole life, and he's got a flair for the dramatic, and he typically ends up backing up some of the stuff, most of the stuff. So anyway, but he's a talented player. He's a good teammate. He's a maniacal worker. And we have a bunch of those guys. So I'm happy that he feels the way that he should feel after his own individual performance and the first time he's played in front of a crowd and in a Gamecock uniform. So I'm happy for him to have that moment, but we kept it in perspective. He's not happy at the outcome, but at the same time, I think he understands that the things that we needed to do in order to come out on the other side of it weren't to hope that guy missed the three. There were 10 other things that were pretty easy to do that could have affected the outcome, and so he's really locked in, and we're really locked into committing to understanding that.
John?
Last few possessions were really good for you guys, but last 3 to 4 minutes of the game seemed to be a little bit of a struggle in certain ways. Do you take what do you take from that? Do you take that as kind of teaching moments there for late game moments, or are you disappointed with how things kind of played out?
Yeah, no, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in nothing as it pertains to this exhibition game. So I think it did exactly what it was supposed to do. I think it provided us moments that we wanted to see who's going to do what in those moments, and that has less to do with making shots. I mean, that guy made that game winner. He could be in 10 more and miss them, so you can't say, well, he's the game-winning shot guy, right? But you can say this is the game-winning defensive guy guarding the ball, the game-winning post-entry passer, the game-winning blockout guy, the game-winning, there's a whole litany of those things. And so we saw a lot of those situations present themselves today in an environment that in their minds was as real as a real game gets. So that's the background under which they're making these decisions. So I thought it was I thought it did exactly what it was supposed to do for us. I mean, we did everything we're supposed to do, giving what happened. A couple big stops, a couple buckets, a steal, and they had one to win the game, right? Doesn't get, like, that's real. That happened. I know those guys did those things, right? So I don't feel any better or worse in an exhibition game that shot didn't, or that shot did go in. Really, that's, in some ways, if I'm being 100% honest, it's going to sound weird. I can't sit here and say that I wish he would have missed the shot. I know what the film session is going to look like, and I have an understanding of how our guys are going to feel based on the fact that the shot went in. I'm not sure what that same film session looks like if the shot goes in. I'm just not, being honest with you. But so, was really happy with a lot of the things our guys did, and we got some real evidence as to who's going to do what in certain situations.
Jack?
On 12 three-pointers tonight. I know Eli accounted for a lot of those, but it seemed like other guys were able to get involved from the outside. Just how did you feel about the overall performance from the team?
Good. I thought we did a good job. I mean, we have a team with a lot of guys that can make shots. I think it's a combination of guys that can make shots and guys that usually do make shots. So that's a good combination. Because of that, we're going to shoot threes. That was part of last year. I thought we didn't shoot enough threes. I don't have a number. Some guys do that. I just like threes. I want to take a good shot, honestly. I want to take a good shot. Sometimes it's an attack. Sometimes it's an attack to a kick out. Whatever it ends up being, sometimes a post up. But I'm not going to discourage threes. I will say that. I don't discourage threes from hardly anybody on our team. Maybe Hayden Simeon. Maybe the current version of Hayden Simeon is the one guy I think I've told to lay off of that and get to something more up your sleeve right now, currently.
Jackson?
Lamont, just, you said one exhibition game, but turnovers kind of led to a lot of transition buckets for NC State, a lot of foul calls for them. In that film session, like you mentioned, how do you go about correcting, those turnover issues before the next team that can get out and run like that comes down?
Just show them stuff and, practice. We practice stuff. Some of them, one, I think it's identifying what the turnover was. Did the turnover happen because of your brain or because of your body? It's oftentimes a combination of both of them. But the ones that happen because of your brain, I think we can change where our mind is at those moments and the decision-making process. And so some of those, particularly late, did the circumstances impact your decision-making process? Tends to, all right? So just identifying what they are, continuing to work on the things and show where your outs are. I mean, a lot of the things that we do, for the poker people out there, we have a lot of outs with a lot of the things that we do. And so we need to check to those outs sometimes instead of trying to force some things. But, we'll watch them, identify them, and then work on them.
David?
Lamont, also, NC State seem to be just going right into the paint every possession. Is that something that you guys maybe just physically can't do right now, something you got to work on to just kind of stop people from continuing to charge the rim?
Yeah, we do. We gave up, how many points was it? 40 in the paint maybe, or whatever it was, yeah. I think that's a lot of people. People are being aggressive. Everyone wants to do threes or layups at this point, and so a lot of people are being aggressive. We used our hands a lot of times. I don't think that was the real root of it, to be 100% honest. I think it's accentuated. You get to the end of the game and they did it a couple of times, or there was a stretch maybe that they did it a couple of times, but they had a bunch of second chance points. I mean, that's one that I think is controllable. I mean, if we had cut those in half, just the second chance points, we're probably not talking about points. Those are all points in the paint typically, right? A lot of them. Some were kick out threes, but a lot of them are points in the paint. So yes, certainly we got to get better at that. But I think rebounding really was the root cause of a lot of that stuff there.
Last question to John.
Thoughts on how Michi played in his return, and also just kind of the point position in general. It seemed like Michi, Mike, and Eli, I don't know if it was a third every guy, but it seemed like they split it up pretty evenly.
Yeah, I mean they're all point guards in their own right, all three of them. I mean, usually you feel good if you have two, and you're trying to convince one this or that or the other, so it sounds good. We got three guys that all know that that's going to be their role sometimes, and other times they're going to be off the ball, and it doesn't preclude them from getting things to happen because they're off the ball. In fact, some of our sets, you end up being the activator coming off the ball screen when you don't bring the ball up. So, but it's nice to have three guys that you feel really confident in their ability to do that. That also have found a way to coexist seamlessly. They all want to just play, and they're on Team Us, and so that's really good. I thought they all did a good job with that. It wasn't really by design we have a couple of plays where maybe if we're going to run a post-up play that starts at the point, we're going to do that probably with Mike versus Michi, or we had one play where we were initiating it with Eli once he got hot to try to get him in a matchup with Vin Lubin in the corner, and we turned it over before we got it to him. But so it's just they're all going to do it. I don't think anybody cares who does it. They all want to do it, right? They all want to do it, and I don't care who does it. So they're all going to bring the ball up and handle the ball, and it's nice that if they get double teamed, they throw it to another guy, and he can handle and initiate offense too. So I was just really happy with all those guys, and really happy with the team. Honestly, I thought we fought. I thought we demonstrated a lot of things. I don't say that fought in the old, well, hey, we gave it the old, right? Like, not that kind of fought. I thought we fought in a way that said, hey, we need to do this here. We need to get a stop. I mean, we did all these things. We got a couple turnovers. Like, let's get a stop. Let's get a basket. We need a stop, right? I heard one guy say that we do a drill called ODO, where we play offense, defense, and then offense again. And I heard one guy say that while we were out there. We needed a bucket, a stop, and a bucket, and we got a bucket, and a stop, and a bucket. And so I thought the exhibition game, like I said, did everything that it was supposed to do for us. I thought we saw some really good things out of some guys. We also had some evidence on some guys that need to get better at things, and so we'll move forward. But I like our team. You know, I've said this before. It's a good thing because I picked them and my staff. So, but I like our team. We got competitive guys, and so stay tuned.
Thanks, Coach.